Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good? Hear me? Good? Awesome. How are you guys today? Awesome. This is amazing. I really just have to say that I love this setting and I love this space because it allows everyone to communicate. So I'm going to kind of try to breeze through my talk so that we can maybe talk afterwards because I find that way more fun. So, yeah, I'm Monahan. I'm founder and CEO of MyCrypto. Previously, I was with MyEtherWallet. We had a little brand fork a couple months ago. Now we're MyCrypto. And when we first started building MyEtherWallet about 3 years ago now, we started really simple, and we just basically created this solution that was a browser-based solution. And the reason we did that was because the overhead of maintaining this little browser applet thing was so low. And then it was also an immensely low overhead for the end user. They don't have to install anything, they don't have to think about anything, they just open up their browser, they go to this website, they type in this stuff, and they can access their crypto. Unfortunately, I was really naive when I first started this company because I figured that, hey, if we put the users in control and we don't hold their keys for them, then there's nothing to hack. And that was my mentality, like, we're unhackable, yay. And I was really wrong. So the attackers have this immense amount of ROI, and they can phish you, they can scam you, and as we saw last week with the MyEtherWallet DNS attack, they can literally try to attack like the underpinnings of the internet in order to get at your crypto. And the reason that they're able to do this, and they're able to do this so successfully, is because the scams that they're implementing are really, relatively speaking, low effort. The funds can't be recovered. They're really easy to mix and siphon. And they can kind of like create this cycle, right? So what we're seeing is that these attackers will start with compromised Google ad accounts. So they'll actually phish your like Google AdWords account. And then they'll throw up Google ads, and then they'll throw up a fake MyEtherWallet, a fake MyCrypto, a fake MyMonero, all these different sites. And then they'll throw up fake exchange accounts. So they'll actually compromise the exchange, like the fiats ins and outs. And they control the entire system, and everyone's screwed, and they just make a ton of money. It's terrifying. So these are some of the scams that we've seen. We've got mid-2012 or mid-2017, we had a ton of Slack. I don't know if you guys remember, all the crypto communities were on Slack. They were really bad. We were getting like 200 phishing messages a day, targeting just MyEtherWallet. Like we were just monitoring the MyEtherWallet ones. Today, it's the Twitter giveaways. If you guys are on Twitter at all, I'm sure you've seen these all the freaking time. They are absolutely obnoxious. I tweeted this morning and I immediately had like 3 scammers. And what's even scarier, like, because it's such a simple scam, but they are making money off of these. Like, people are falling for these. And they're getting better at them, so now they're compromising. If you look at the top, we have Justin Sun, the real Justin Sun, and right below, we have a fake Justin Sun, but he still has that blue check mark. This gets people all the time. They're basically compromising through various password leaks and all that kind of stuff, verified Twitter accounts, and then changing the profile picture and the name, not the username though, but that's like super tiny and gray so nobody notices, and then, you know, trying to get people to send the money. And if scams and phishing wasn't enough, as I mentioned earlier, the internet itself is inherently insecure. If you're connected to the internet, things can go really badly. So last week, MyEtherWallet was the target of, basically these attackers went after the BGP, which is the Border Gateway Protocol. It's like this really low level DNS thing. It's basically what tells, when you type in myetherwallet.com into your browser, it's all the back-end pinnings that tell it to go to this IP address. Someone snuck some bad IP addresses in there, so you were actually on some Russian scammer's website. They got a lot of money. It was really bad because it was really hard for users to understand like what had happened. And what's most terrifying about this is that we have been working to train people like, you know, always check the URL, make sure it's not a phishing URL. double check, use your bookmarks, etc., etc. In this case, if you had checked the URL, it still would have said MyEtherWallet. That's terrible. So what are we working on today to combat these issues? Because as we've realized, or as I realized over the past 3 years, it's absolutely terrifying to be building a product for people to hold their money, even though I'm not holding it. To have people holding their money when there's just this slew of attackers out there. So first thing is, always remember to empower your people, okay? Fight for them. Do everything that you can to let them win. Don't play the blame game. Don't go, oh, that's not our fault. If a user comes to you and takes the time to write you an email or pull you aside a conference and says, hey, this is great, but I really don't understand this. Or I just lost all my money and I'm really, really upset with you and I'm gonna call you a whole bunch of names. You kind of have these two paths that you can go down. You can have path one, which is get really defensive and say you're an idiot and you should have never been in the crypto scene, which is something that we see a lot. Or you can say, okay, you screwed up, but how did the sequence of events happen? How did this person, where did the education fail? Where did they just so at the core lose understanding or where did that mistake happen? And for us building that product, can we prevent that from happening in the future? So one thing that we implemented, 6 months ago, was these really annoying click-throughs. If you guys use MyEtherWallet or MyCrypto, you're totally familiar with these. You literally have to click through 10 slides that teach you about all the different ways that you can lose your funds. We implement really bad UX patterns on purpose in order to make it harder for you to easily click through the slides. So the buttons will jump up and down. It's obnoxious, okay? But the reason is that we feel that if we can save one person's funds, if they can read these slides and be like, I understand this, and they take that extra second and they don't lose their money at the end of the day, that's worth it. The other thing that we're doing is that we're moving to recommend not using your private keys in your key store files on the website. So we have MetaMask, which is also Web3 support, so Cypher browser is another one that you can use. Ledger and Trezor are hardware wallets. And then we have the Parity Signer, which is a brand new mobile app that Parity released. And basically you can turn your existing mobile phone, preferably an old phone that you can just keep offline as a dedicated device. You can basically transform that phone into a hardware wallet. So it's super, super cool. And we are getting really, really, really aggressive if you do choose to use your private key on the web. Because what we're seeing is that unintentionally, when we were building this product, we set people up for failure. By having them put their private key in their key store file in the browser at the get-go, that was our core mistake. So no matter how much we educate them, no matter how much we train them, no matter how much we do to try to drill it into their heads, at the end of the day, we set them up for failure by allowing them to put their private key in the web in the first place. Now we're trying to safely and without pissing the world off, back up from that and give them safer alternatives, like the hardware wallets, like the MetaMask, like the Parity Signers. And then obviously, this is one of the most exciting things, is that as we've been rewriting the whole code base over the past, 10 months now, we can now compile this single code base into both a web version and desktop apps. So just last week, we launched the alpha of our desktop apps, which are available for Mac and Windows and Linux. And basically, this eliminates the phishing vectors because you're not going to be typing that URL every time. It eliminates the problems with the DNS because you're not going to be relying on the internet itself to provide you the right website. And you can trust that the code that's running in this desktop app today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day, it's all going to be the same code, so you can trust it. And most importantly, enough about me, what can you guys do to make this space more secure, more safe, and just a better experience for everyone? The first one is you yourselves have to take the initiative to be smarter, to educate yourselves, whether that's taking a single moment in time to ask someone a question or ask for clarity on something that you may not understand, whether that's reading that article, whether that's actually looking at that infographic and taking that extra couple seconds to try to actually understand and commit that to memory. And as you learn and obtain all this knowledge around this space, we want to share that knowledge. So everyone has different skill sets. And one thing that I've learned is that everyone's brain processes the blockchain and crypto in a different way. And what's really, really important is that the way that you learn, there's someone else in this room, in this world, that learns in the same way that you do. So while I'm like a totally visual learner, and I love videos, I love infographics, there's other people that want that wall of text where it goes so deeply into what the blockchain is, what crypto is. They want the white paper, they want the mathematical equations. We need both. You need both ends of the spectrum. So think about how you learn. Think about what made a concept click for you. And if it made it click for you, take that, exactly how it clicked for you, and share it with other people, because it's gonna hit someone else, it's gonna impact them, and they're gonna learn and take takeaways from that. The other thing is that we wanna build better products, okay? And this is so easy to say, but it's really hard to do, I know. But if you think about it, we wanna build things that make your personal life better, make the people around you's life better and easier, and then have a global effect. Because we're in the blockchain. This is a global decentralized movement. We can do anything we want. But in order to get there, we all have to work together to individually build better products that solve better problems. And we also need a variety of different solutions. So just as I was just talking about how everyone learns differently, the same applies to products. Our solution, right, this client-side interface wallet thing where you can access your funds, hey, that's great for a lot of people, but that's not for everyone. There's a lot of people that don't want that. They want someone else to hold their funds, okay? And that's fine, but we need those safe custody solutions, those safe third-party custody solutions to be built. We need things that hide all the extra options and make things just so simple for people. We need really great multi-sig options. We need all of these things to be built, and that's just in this sort of wallet custody area. That's not even venturing out into all the other products that this space needs right now. And most importantly, we should build together, because at the end of the day, the only thing that's gonna kind of make the blockchain and cryptocurrency run this world is if we work together in order to replace the established systems, okay? And it's so easy to forget as we're all kind of competing, we're up against each other, we wanna be better, that at the end of the day, this space right now is still so narrow that everyone in this room should be talking to each other and doing their best to work together to improve their own products and build up their own products and the people around them. And together, that's where you're gonna see a remarkable difference be made in this world. And if you like, kind of what we're doing, jobs at MyCrypto, we're pretty much always hiring. Specifically right now, product people and mobile devs are a huge need right now. So if you know anyone, shoot us an email, your pitch, your resume, whatever you've got. And that's all I got for you today. Just want to say thank you for having me, Stephanie.